Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we shall be solving question number 3 of exercise 9.3. So here the question says, if the 5th term, if the 8th term and the 12th term of the given GP are given to be P, right? 5th term is P, 8th term is given to be Q, and 11th term is given to be S. These are the three things are given to us. We need to prove Q square is equal to PS. Now, according to the nth term formula, where A is the first term and R is the common ratio, we have AN is equal to A into R raised to power n minus 1, right? So, because A5 is given to be P, if we put n is equal to 5 into this expression, we would have A5, right? So, A5 would be equal to A into R raised to power 5 minus 1, which is A into R raised to power 4. So, what is the value of A5 which is given to us? It is equal to P. So, therefore, P is equal to A raised to power R, AR raised to power 4. So, this forms our first equation. Similarly, when you substitute n is equal to 8 here into this expression, so what do you have? You would have A8 is equal to AR raised to power 8 minus 1. So when you solve this, it would be A8 is equal to A into R raised to power 7, right? So now A8 is given to be Q. So therefore Q is equal to AR raised to power 7. This is your equation number 2. In a similar manner, when you substitute n is equal to 11 into this equation, you would have A11 is equal to AR raised to power 11 minus 1, which would be A11 is equal to AR raised to power 10, right? Now from here you can very easily see that A11 is given to be S. So S is equal to AR raised to power 10. This is your equation 3. Now you have equation 1, equation 2, equation 3. Solving them, we need to get an equation in P, Q and S such that it do not contain A and it do not contain R, right? So that means from the equation 1, 2 and 3, we need to eliminate this A and R. So how can we do that? That is very simple. We can divide the equations. So you see, when you divide equation 2 by 1, what do we have? A R raised to power 7, right, is equal to Q. When you divide this equation by the first equation, you would have this thing. This A and A cancels. You can write 7 raised to power R raised to power 7 as R raised to power 4 into R raised to power 3 divided by R raised to power 4, right? That is quite simple. This power and this power cancel, so we are left with R cube is equal to Q upon P. So this is what I have done here. When I divide equation 2 by 1, you would have R cube is equal to QP. Let's mark this as equation number 4. Now what we are doing? We now have to use our second and third equation in order to do the same. So now you see, when you divide both of these equations 2 and 3, what do you have? A R raised to power 10 is equal to S. This was your equation. Now dividing this third equation with the second equation, we would have A R raised to power 7 is equal to S divided by Q, right? Again, A and A cancels. You can write R raised to power 10 as R raised to power 7 into R raised to power 3 divided by this term, R raised to power 7, that is equal to S divided by Q. So R raised to power 7 and R raised to power 7 cancels with each other. So R cube is equal to S upon Q. So this is your fifth equation from here, correct? Okay. Now from equation 4 and equation 5, can you see a thing? Yes. Let's highlight the terms. This is equation 4. This is equation 5. You see, we have R cube on one side of equation number 4 as well as equation number 5. So that means equation 4 and 5, they are equal to each other. So that means this S upon Q is equal to Q upon P, right? On cross multiplying the terms, we would have SP is equal to Q square, and this is what we wanted to prove here, right? So the proof of this question is very simple. Okay, now let's move forward on to our next question, question number 4. This question here says that if the fourth term of GP is square of its second term, what does it mean? The fourth term of GP, that is A4, is, that means equal to, square of its second term. Square of which term? Second term, A2. So if this thing is given to us, this equation is given to us, and moreover, the first term is given to be minus 3. So that means A is given to be minus 3, right? That means from this equation, we need to determine what is our R. Once we know the value of r, we can very easily determine our 7th term. We now know the nth term is given by n is equal to a into r raised to power n minus 1, right? This term. Now when you solve this term, when you substitute for a4, you have to substitute n is equal to 4 here. So a4 would be a into r raised to power 4 minus 1, which is 3, right? So you can write a4 as ar cube. Next, you wanted to solve for a2. What would be your a2? Your a2 would be obtained when you put n is equal to 2 here. So a2 would be a into r raised to power 2 minus 1, and 2 minus 1 is just 1. So you may skip writing it. So a2 would be ar, correct? So our equation becomes ar cube is equal to ar square, whole square. Now we know the value of a. It is given to us as minus 3. So we can substitute it here and here as well, correct? Okay. So that means minus 3r cube is equal to minus 3r whole square, correct? So we can square this thing. It would be plus 9 into r square, this term. Now from here you see this 2 power of r cancels with 1 power of r. So that means we are left with just 1 r here. So minus 3r is equal to 9. Solving this, we obtain the value of r as minus 3. So the value of r is minus 3. The value of a is also minus 3. Now using these two values, we will calculate what is the 7th term. Now in order to calculate the 7th term, we will again make use of this nth term. In this nth term, we will now substitute the value of n as 7. So that we would have a7 is equal to a into r raised to power 7 minus 1. 7 minus 1 is 6, right? So doing that, a7 is a r raised to power 6, right? The value of a is minus 3. The value of r is again minus 3. We have just computed it. So it would be minus 3 into minus 3 raised to power 7. So it would be minus 3 raised to power 7. So you can break it down into 3 parts. Minus 3 raised to power 3 into minus 3 raised to power 4. Minus 3 raised to power 3 is minus 27. Minus 3 raised to power 4 is 81. So multiplying them, you would have your answer as minus 2187. Correct? So this is your answer. So I hope you understood the solution to these two questions as well. Well, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching.